Coming up on this episode of Black, Married, and Hustling.
I got some good news. We are going to South Dakota.
Falling, fading, crashing into a dream. Till she rises in her sighs and she's bursting into sleep. No, there's nothing else to do.
So Sheldon's birthday is in about 2 weeks, and I have no idea what I'm getting him, nor do I have any idea what I want to do for him. I originally had one gift idea. Sheldon's been getting really into scotch lately. He calls it his grown man drink.
Jared, it's the way a grown man drinks scotch. Neat. Take it neat.
I'll edit out the cough.
Thank you.
And so I was going to get him this really nice decanter set and all this good stuff to really get him set up. But then I told him early because I wasn't sure if now was the time to do it. So I told him about it, and he kind of told me, like, yes, I want that. But since we don't have, like, our space set up right now, like, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. So I'm back to the drawing board, and I was just kind of thinking, okay, well, I know that he really has been feeling stressed about the job search lately and just being confined. So I came up with another potentially insane idea. I think that we should go to Mount Rushmore. All right, now you may think I'm completely crazy, but this was a trip that Sheldon and I had talked about over the summer. He said that he really wanted to, he has a goal of visiting all 50 states before he turns 30. Last summer, we went on an epic freaking road trip across the country, there and back. We hit like 15 states. Now he's only down to 5 more states, and one of those is South Dakota. So I have no idea what he's going to say to this idea, but I'm going to at least ask him and see what he thinks. All right, he's down in the basement right now working on some stuff. Boo Bear, I have a question for you. Also wanted to show some of the progress. Look at this. He's been downstairs today cutting drywall, getting stuff measured. This afternoon I'll be down here with him, but for now, he's working solo. So, Boo Bear.
Yes, sir.
You know how we had talked about taking a trip to South Dakota this summer?
Yeah.
What if we went for your birthday? What are your initial reactions to that suggestion?
My initial reaction is that we can't afford it.
Well, since I'm thinking about, us taking this trip as your birthday trip, then I would pay for it. I already started mapping out some of the costs.
That doesn't assuage my initial reaction.
That we can't afford it? Why? I wanted to get you something for your birthday. We wanted to do this trip.
As you may remember, I told you that you couldn't really afford for you to be buying me a birthday gift either.
But we can't afford it.
You were talking about buying me a decanter set. That seemed like it was going to be a lot cheaper than a weekend trip.
I mean, that's true. It would have been. But the thing is, like, I was just looking at the numbers today because I was trying to think what I really wanted to do for your birthday and how we'd been talking about that trip and that it would be really fun. And, like, gas and hotel, like, it's not going to be as expensive as you think. And I have, like, some money set aside for your birthday anyway, and I really can't afford it. I can show you the numbers if you like.
I just think that
Other than money, like, logistically, what do you think of it?
money is the biggest thing. Logistically, it's not like unless someone gives me a job next week. I don't really have any other engagements next weekend. As you might imagine.
So you'll consider my proposal?
Consider it with numbers, please.
You'll consider it with numbers?
Yes.
All right. All right, you guys. So the other day, I told you that Sheldon's birthday is coming up, and I was supposed to be looking into some stuff that usually he's the one who looks into. Well, spoiler alert, he ended up being the one who looked into it. So this morning, we're about to try to figure out what we're doing for his birthday. I'm chilling, just woke up, still got my hair twisted. One time I was Skyping with my friend Eden, and she told me that I look like the main character off of the book Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. Mad rude. Mad rude! Anywho, babe, what have you found out? What have you found in your research?
It's really like when you start getting out west, that you start seeing some of that, like, you know, the beautiful landscapes and everything. But, you know, South Dakota is supposed to be really pretty. A lot of that is because of the Badlands. I'm actually more interested in that than Mount Rushmore. But the question is just like if we can afford to do that right now. I mean, my parents would probably help us pay for gas. I don't know what they're planning on doing for my birthday, but I could ask them for that. But, you know, if it's not realistic right now, then we just kind of need to talk about what else we would want to do.
It's a trip we've been talking about for a while. We were thinking about doing it this summer, and now the summer's here. So we're just figuring out if this is feasible. The big challenge, you already know what the big challenge is going to be. Money. Right. I want to finance this trip because it is Sheldon's birthday, but we just have to figure out if, like, I can do it without living on the streets, metaphorically, for the next month and a half. I got some good news. I got some good news. We are going to South Dakota. South Dakota, we coming for you. About to look at Mount Rushmore. About to look at the Badlands. Oh, I'm excited. So basically we sat down and we had to figure out how the hell we were about to make this trip happen. The answer, with a lot of long drives, a couple cheap hotels, and probably a good number of $5 Little Caesars pizzas. But in the end, we came up with a budget that makes sense. That Pumpkin is sleeping on. Pumpkin, you just gonna sleep on the budget, huh? Pumpy. Look, don't even care. Move. Alright. Here's our plan. We're gonna leave Columbus. I'm about to zoom in for you. There you go. Leave Columbus on August 3rd. Drive to Cedar Rapids. 8 hours, 15 minutes. There we will stay in a hotel that is $55. We will leave from Cedar Rapids, drive to Murdo, South Dakota, where we will stay in a hotel that is $95. From there, we will hang out. We will go to the Badlands. We will go to Mount Rushmore. We will drive around and see the best that South Dakota has to offer. Then we will go from there to Lincoln, Nebraska, where Sheldon is continuing his quest to see a variety of Big Ten schools because he went to Michigan. Next up, we will spend a few hours there and continue on to St. Joseph, Missouri, which is 2 hours away, where we will make camp, i.e., book a hotel and stay the night. And from St. Joseph, Missouri, we will drive back to Columbus on August the 6th, a 10-hour trek, and we will be back to our origin point, where this stinky little pup will be waiting for us. Hey, Pumpy. Will you be waiting? Will you be waiting? She'll be waiting.
Coming up on Black, Married, and Hustling.
So, the other day, I got some pretty upsetting news that...
Wanting to take your blog, brand, or biz to the next level but need some help getting there? Check out Hustlers Homeschool. Free trainings and workbooks around topics of branding, tribe building, and monetization. Disclaimer. Almost, but not quite as awesome as tequila, cheesecake, or binge watching Beyonce videos. We're business people, not magicians.
So, pretty upset right now. I just got an email about a speaking engagement that I was supposed to do in October that has just been canceled. And it's frustrating because it was an $8,000 job, and you know, we're 2 months out, and for them to just be canceling it now, it's really hard because, you know, things have already been a little bit rough with taking the summer off and all of that kind of stuff, but this just puts a lot of pressure on me because I had really hoped to use that $8,000 as a cushion while I was kind of tribe building and focused on creating this web series right now. So I don't know, it's really hard when stuff like this happens, and yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So the other day I got some pretty upsetting news that a speaking engagement that I've been looking forward to that's supposed to be happening in October just got canceled or delayed or whatever it is that you want to call it. The point is, I'm not going, which means I'm not getting paid. And it came in a really bad time because we just finished booking the hotels and planning Sheldon's big birthday trip. So there's just a lot going on, and it's more important to me than ever because I took the summer off, and the money that I made from my speaking tour in the spring is almost at an end. So I'm coming to the end of my business savings right now, which means I need to figure out what my income streams are gonna be for the fall before freaking disaster strikes. So that's what I'm about to do. I have 2 ideas that I've been playing around with for the past couple weeks, and now it's time to figure out which one I'm actually gonna go for. But to do that, I need a little tool that I don't have access to right now. A whiteboard. That's right, I'm a reformed or not so reformed whiteboarder. And since I don't have one, I'm just gonna have to make one. So like I said, I have 2 main ideas. The first is what I have here that I'm calling LCJ Shop. And that is basically a standalone suite of self-study courses. So over the course of the last couple years, I have learned a ton about what it takes to build a business out of basically scratch. So build a business around your passion. And there are a lot of courses that I have taught that I could teach, like how to blog, courses on social media, courses on self-publishing, how to become a paid speaker. These are all things that I've done. They're all things that I've taught other people to do. So idea number 1 is to put all of the things that I've learned into courses that people could buy, almost like a little online school. So the same way that like Hustlers Homeschool exists and their free trainings, these would be like a much more in-depth version of that. And the pros of this is that lots of people want to learn to do information products. So I know that this is something that people who watch the show would get excited about, because turning your passion into an info product is one of the main ways to get out there and start monetizing a hobby. So I know it's something that people will be interested in. And they're easier to sell because it's a known item. Like, people understand it. I'm like, yo, wanna buy this course? Want me to teach you this thing? Oh, okay, buy it. So it's an easy sell and it's quicker money because I have a launch timeline here for September of October. I've done this before, so I know what it means to create a quality course, and I can do it with a relatively quick timeline because a lot of these are workshops I've already taught. It's just a matter of getting them out there in digital format. That's idea number one. Idea number two. You guys, my sister's keeper. It is a community/online business incubator for women of color passionpreneurs. So it's not just a course, it's not just one thing, it's an entire online ecosystem to support women of color who are trying to build businesses around their passions. So it's a lot more in depth. It's an idea that I've been playing with for years. It's something that I'm super freaking excited about because I feel like it's needed. And the pros, I think it's needed. Pro number one. And it's a challenge. It's something different. It's different than what everybody else is doing. It's something I'm passionate about, and it's not out there right now, which makes it more exciting. And finally, you know, the long-term scalability of something like this is like over the moon. Like this idea is small right now, but in my head, this thing could grow into something amazing that really does not even exist out there. Over on this side, the biggest cons for doing the shop is that it's not exciting to me. So I had originally just settled on this. I was like, this is what I'm doing. Like, F it. I'm doing the shop. It's happening. Whatever. But like, every time I settle on it, I'm just like, this thing is not exciting. Every time I sit down to like put a timeline behind it, I'm like, not excited. And the other big question that I start here is like, what happens after? Like, here, I can see what this thing can be. You know, it has the potential to be so much. With this, it's like after the shop is done, I don't have a vision for afterwards. This isn't the seed. You know, I feel like all this stuff over here is like, it's easier, it's quicker money, and it's kind of like what I think people want. And automatically that makes me feel like, should I be doing this? Because I'm doing stuff because I feel like other people want it or because I want the money. You know, with this one, the biggest cons are, does this timeline work financially? And even scarier than that, is this idea too ambitious? If I put all my time and energy into this thing and it flops, first of all, y'all have been watching the whole situation, and if this thing bombs, I don't know what I'm about to do. Like, I'm not somebody who's used to failure, so it would be devastating to me. And then if I were to do this, like, this means big things for me financially. It's like a soft launch in September. That's not gonna ride out the holidays. That's not gonna get me through the rest of the year. Like, I would need to figure out, is this project worth working on, developing, investing in? Because if I decide to do this, it means I'm not doing something else. And that scares me. I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks now. And for a while, I was really leaning towards doing the shop because this other idea scares me way too much. It's way out there, it's way big, it's scary. But then I had a conversation with Sheldon the other day that kind of changed everything.
I feel like you need a satisfaction from your vocation that I don't. And to be frank with you, like, you and I both individually and collectively have made a lot of sacrifices for you to be able to have that. And we didn't make those sacrifices for you to be settling, you know. So if you have a path forward, you know, yeah, it's risky, you know, whatever, but like, you know, that's why we're doing the things that we're doing.
The idea of launching this online incubator, this huge project, this thing that doesn't exist, scares the crap out of me. But Sheldon's right. We've made way too many sacrifices for me to be pursuing my dreams, for me to now start playing it safe. There's this really amazing gospel song that I love, and the words always console me when I feel like I'm afraid. And it's like, Nobody told me the road would be easy, but I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me. And that's it. I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me. Let's do this.
Coming up next week on Black, Married, and Hustling.
All right, yo, we just got to the Badlands National Park, and it is freaking beautiful.
Are you a fierce woman with unconventional or entrepreneurial career goals? Head over to blackmarriedhustling.com for a chance to connect with like-minded individuals and get access to free trainings that will help you take your blog, brand, or business to the next level.